Hello, hello. Welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host, Keegan, and this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, and recovery issues and topics. You can check us out on retrievingsanity.com. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and go ahead and leave a like, a follow, subscribe, whichever suits your fancy. Now, today I want to talk about something that has to deal with recovery, but it's a little bit different than recovery because it's more than recovery. Now, a lot of people think that recovery is only the recovery from addiction, and that can be anything from a substance or alcohol or any compulsive or coping mechanism that someone was using in an rather an unhealthy manner, to say the least. Now, for myself, this takes many different forms, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to stick with alcohol. Now, one of the things about recovery is that it's more than breaking the chains of addiction. It's not just healing from addiction, but it's actually growing from addiction. It's growing as a person and being whole. Now, let me explain. Earlier today, I had a group meeting, and this group is fantastic because we focus more on the spiritual approach and what we do with ourselves. And for myself, this group has actually opened up my eyes to see that I need to look into other programs as well. AA is great. It has its place, and it has shown me the door and road to addiction recovery. Now, the thing with that is, I've seen that there's other programs that offer so much more and will help me actually grow. And again, addiction, yeah, it ran its course, and of course, it didn't really end up in a good spot. I mean, look at me now. Look at me now, but this is me in recovery, and it's great. So, for anyone that you know that's in recovery or is about to undertake the beginning stages of it, be supportive and show them your love and let them know that you're proud. Now, it's hard to say that addiction has a good spot in someone's life because honestly, it really sucks. For me, it was 10 long years of nothing but absolute pain. And the thing was, I didn't know how to do anything with it, so therefore I withdrew and I became a husk, a shell of a person. I wasn't even really a person at this point. Now, the problem with that is that you don't really live. In fact, it's hardly even existing. It's hardly even survival at that point. Really, what it is being a parasite. Or at least that's how I feel about it. So, for anyone that was involved with anything in the last 12 years, really, the last two are recovery based, but the 10 years before that, I'm so sorry about everything I've ever done. And I know that sorry is an empty word, but the sentiment is there. In my group, we had talked about how recovery is more than recovery itself from addiction. The thing with that is that in recovery, we find out who we are. We find out that we have to be of service to other people to keep our sobriety. And it's not always easy, but that's the thing. We I have a stronger willpower than I really think I do, because at the end of the day, whenever I was able to sit there and go and somehow find my drug of choice, alcohol, and I could have nothing, and somehow at the end of the day, I would find my fix and I would get it, and I would be, well, not happy, not satisfied, but not in anguish. There's a whole lot of healing that needs to be done, and it can't be done in just 2 years. And that's the thing. A lot of people like to think that once you have your spiritual experience through working a 12-step program, your problems are done and finished. You're good. But that's not the case. That's the reason why steps 10, 11, and 12 exist. They're what we call the maintenance steps. They're what keep us going in the right path. And it's not easy, it's not necessarily difficult, but once you stop working those, it's evident to, well, others around you, and then eventually to, well, myself. But there's no perfect road to recovery. They say it works if you work it, and it's true. So sometimes I just have to listen, right? Now, with this group, we like to, well, we do some, what some people call divination. And in this particular meeting, I had pulled a tarot card, and it ended up being the Three of Air, which, as the book said, is all about learning. It's about going through life, growing, and learning. And that's exactly what recovery is. Recovery is growing. Recovery is also learning as you go. Yes, you're going to stumble. Yes, it's going to be difficult from time to time, or a whole lot of the time. But the thing is, you have to learn from each and every experience. That's the only way you're going to get anything beneficial out of it in the end. So what I have to do is sit there and take a step back, look at myself, and realize that along my addiction, I stopped growing. But more than that, I stopped living. And with this knowledge, I'm able to sit here in recovery and go, I have more room to go and grow. I have more to learn, and it's not going to stop. Not until the day I die, and hopefully that's quite a while from now. And used to, I was just wishing for death, but it never came. In a sense, it's a superpower, but in all the wrong ways. Now, the thing with this group is that upon figuring out all these other programs I can look into and go and learn to grow, I've found out that I know less than I used to know. But that's usually how knowledge goes. The more you learn, the less you know. And isn't it interesting? It's a little paradox in itself. But that's the way that like majors in college go. You have all these different routes you can take, and you have rabbit holes, and you can just go and go and go. And then inside of a rabbit hole, you can find another labyrinth of more rabbit holes, or maybe ant hills, and you're just like, well, okay, not ant hill, but like a colony. You know what I mean? But the more rabbit holes you find, the more you find out that the world and the amount of knowledge and experience that's out there for you to explore to better yourself, or for my case, the more that I learn and experience and find out that there's even more to learn and experience, especially from others, the more I realize I know less than I really thought that I knew. So what I have to do is do my best to keep working on building. What I have to do, I have to sit there and realize that my foundation is built. It's set. AA set my foundation, and that's what I have to build onto. I don't have to sit there and necessarily change the dimensions, break off different parts of the foundation just to make way for something else. What I can do is I can add to the foundation, but I can also add to the building itself. It's not complete. It's never going to be complete. It's kind of like me and my ADHD projects. Like, I probably have like 5, 6 7 different projects I'm really trying to do at the same time, and you know how that kind of stuff goes. If you're neurotypical and you don't know how that kind of stuff goes, you probably know someone that is similar. So, anyways, I can sit here and I can now go down these different paths, learn more and more and more, and I can take this knowledge and experience, put it onto myself, but more importantly, I can pour it into other people. And by pouring it into other people, it's going to help me do more than just recover. It's going to allow me to live. And that's, in my opinion, that's more of what life is. Living is not just for self. Living is living for others, with others, and just ultimately, well, living. It's an enigma, but that's life. So, what I can take away from that for myself is that I just have to keep moving. I can't stop. I gotta go. And if I think that I've got it and I've got all the knowledge that I can, that tells me I now need to explore a new avenue and or take a look around, find other perspectives and different experiences and explore those as well. So that's the thing. There's no really right or wrong answer. There is a little bit of a wrong, but that's the thing we're trying to avoid ultimately. So what I can do for myself, like I said, is learn, grow, experience, ask questions, take a look at a different perspective, and just keep going. Whenever I sit here and get stagnant, I need to take another look, a different perspective, and go find another rabbit hole. And maybe I'll find something that I really need, or I'll find something that someone else really needs to learn or experience, and I'm able to help them experience and learn it from what I gather. Let me know how it is that you think we're supposed to live. Let me know what it is that you can learn, what you can experience to bring to other people's lives to help them out, and in the end, help yourself out. Because, like I said, this is probably the way to live, or if not for you, at least it is for me. So I would like to hear what everyone else has to say about all this mental health and addiction recovery and what it is to actually live. What is your definition of living? You might be wondering too, I thought you were done with music in the background. Well, I kind of thought so too, but I'm going to have it way down so that you can actually hear me and not too much of the music. I just want something to kind of help. I'm using music from freebeats.io that is produced by White Hot, and the names of the songs will be down in the episode description. And also don't forget to leave us a like, a follow, and let me know what it is that you think that we're supposed to be living like. But anyways, with this, I want to say thank you for stopping by, thank you for taking a listen, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, night, or whenever you're listening to this. And until I see you next time, Slan.